Let's let it go.
Dr. Rosie Milligan, one of the most sought-after speakers on the circuit today. Her live internet talk show, Express Yourself, is the most provocative, thought-provoking, and talked-about radio show on the internet. There's no holds barred, and Dr. Milligan puts the B in bold. She brings it every Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Rosie has been proclaimed the most provocative female writer of the century. Her books include Satisfying the Black Man and Black Woman Sexually Made Simple, Why Black Men Choose White Women, and the book Nigga Please. These books have raised eyebrows across the country. She has authored 21 books and published 350 titles for authors nationwide. Check Dr. Rosie out at drrosie.com for her books, articles, and archives of her internet talk show. Sit at the feet of wisdom. Dr. Milligan is indeed a timekeeper and scorekeeper. She is the clock, calendar, and almanac for Black America. You need to hear her.
You listen to the Express Yourself Hour. I am your host, Dr. Rosie Milligan, coming to you live, as always, with nothing but straight talk up in here. Well, it's sunny California. We're getting some great weather, so we all happy and stirring about. My co-hosts are the wonderful, the invisible man, the AI man, Mr. Keith Swanson. People still looking for him. They're still saying, is he real? Y'all missed him. You missed him. He was at Black Writers on Tour. So I don't know. The pot is kind of growing. But the first person who catch him and call me and holler, I got Keith. You got some money in the pot. Keith, how you doing this morning? I am doing good. See, they had their chance. I know. You were standing there.
And walked around, and people passed me right by, and they could have had me. But
wow. Well, one day they'll catch you. One day they'll catch you, Keith. I tell you. Oh,
he didn't speak, Dr. Rosie. He didn't let that voice shine. He didn't say hello, and they didn't have a chance to turn around and say, Keith.
Oh, that's what it is, huh? That's what it is.
Somewhere.
If they don't catch him in the next 6 months, I'm going to post his picture and I just want somebody to get that pot, okay? He'll probably disguise himself, put on a hat, put on some shades. Wow. My other co-host is Shawana Bordenay. She's a real estate guru within her own right. She sells houses, buy houses. Like I always say, she does everything but well, she cleans her house. She doesn't clean other folks' house. So, good morning, Shawana. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, Dr. Rosie. How are you doing on this fabulous blue day?
It is fabulous. I'm excited, getting ready to go to Glen Ivy Thursday. I've never gone before. Got my bathing suit. Hey, I'm going to make some pictures.
Oh, my gosh. Nice. Okay.
Got to do for the Instagram. Okay.
Yeah, no. When I run for president, they'll be putting their picture up. No, I ain't putting my pictures out there. You know how folks do? When you get ready to get big, they start pulling out all them pictures. So I don't put my pictures up.
They're already freaking out over free pics.
Wow, you guys, we have a great show for you today. I have a wonderful guest. She's a daughter of a longtime friend of mine, a great friend of mine. And she's her daughter, and I've seen her just grow in her business. She's a business owner. She's an insurance agent. She's a realtor. She reminds me of myself. She should have been my daughter, because I tell you, she's doing some of everything, and she's doing a great job with it all. But today, we're going to really have a great conversation. We're going to look at closing up the financial retirement gap and what you must do now. Folks, that financial retirement gap, it is getting wider and wider. I read something in insurance when I had an insurance company, probably, so many years ago. It talked about doing a survey on 100 people and followed them to the age 65. And it talked about, I think, one was doing well, 5 had income, but it went on to say 89% were dead or dead broke. And here we are now in 2023, and those stats seemingly to still be working well. It gave a great percentage of those who relying and depending on either on the system or on their children. But hey, it holds even greater today. So that's interesting. It's like, Keith, we've come so far, but look like we're going backwards in every aspect of everything. How people retire, the amount of homes, particularly African American own less homes now than they did, I think, in the 1960s.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
just to say, what is going on? What are we not doing? Then what lesson are we not learning? Let's put it like that. What lesson have we not learned that we should be doing better? So this morning, my guest is Miss Bridget Harvey. As I said, she's a business owner, insurance agent, and realtor. And her finger's on the pulse as to what employees and employers must know about the new retirement mandate. Good morning, Miss Harvey. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Milligan. I'm wonderful, and thank you so much for the opportunity to participate on your platform. I am a small business owner. And
I am glad to have you.
And I hope you enjoy Glen Ivy. It's wonderful.
Yes, yes.
Now, I wanted to share some information with you today about your responsibilities as a small business owner. There are expanded mandates and deadlines, and I just want to offer some knowledge and solutions to small business owners. And most importantly, I like the way that you preface that. I want to touch on some things that we weren't necessarily taught in our communities about how the rich stay rich and the rest of us continue to struggle. And I'll make it brief because I know there's a lot of information. But currently, employers are required to provide a sponsored tax-qualified retirement plan. And until recently, that requirement applied to only businesses that had 5 or more employees. But in 2022, California passed legislation SB 1126, which expanded that mandate. And it now includes 1 to 4 employees. And so there are some exceptions or exemptions. For example, if you're an owner-operator and you don't have employees, you are not required. Or if you're a partnership and you and the partners run the business with no employees, again, there's an exemption for you as well. So with the sponsored plan, if you're not sponsoring a plan, then there's government-sponsored options, which are Cal Savers. And I don't know how many are familiar with CalPERS, but Cal Savers is owned by CalPERS.
Okay.
And what happens is the employer enrolls in Cal Savers and then adds its employees. And then the employees have the option to either participate or opt out, and they have 30 days to opt out. Otherwise, they're auto-enrolled. And to be compliant, once the employer enrolls their employees, they don't have to do anything else until they either hire or terminate staff or employees, and then they update Cal Savers of the change. So this will make them compliant as employers and providing the information that Cal Savers needs. The other option, as you spoke about earlier, is the insurance. I mentioned that before, that there's things that we weren't necessarily taught in our community, or it wasn't expanded upon. The insurance has always been available to us, but we were encouraged to purchase just enough to bury, just enough so we can bury our loved ones. But for decades, the wealthy has been using insurance as a tool, a savings tool. They transfer wealth. avoid taxes, they pay for funerals and college education, they purchase homes, and the list just goes on. So with that being said, an option to the requirement for employers and or employees is to utilize an IUL, a life insurance policy, or a Roth IRA. They're both great options for employees that choose to opt out of the traditional employer-sponsored or government-sponsored plans. And with the IUL specifically, it allows you to take advantage of the cash accumulation component without penalties. The IRA, similar to the traditional sponsored plans, it's payroll deducted, it's tax-free, and it's portable. So if you leave the company, you can take it with you. And then, Dr. Milliken, I can certainly get some information to you because the CalSavers plan, it's pretty robust. There's a lot of information, and I know that we don't have the time to go over everything today, but I can certainly get some information to you and send some links to you. That way that information can be shared.
Okay. Now, Bridget, it seems to me that and so you said this is actually a mandate right now.
Mm-hmm.
And most people don't.
Go ahead.
Most people don't know anything about that, so I'm sure there's a whole lot of people that's in violation.
Yes, and there's dates for registration. The registration deadlines for employers with 1 to 4 employees is December 31st, 2025. This actually started with 5 or more employees, and I think those dates have already passed. Because starting January of 2023 was when they expanded the mandate to include the 1 to 4 employees.
Okay, so the 1 to 4 have until December 2025 to be in compliance.
Correct.
Yeah. You see, I think what's taking place, Keith, is the government is trying to find a way to get the people off of their caseload. They're saying, we're going to force you.
Right.
Now, they're not increasing money. They're not making it easier for the small businesses, you know, for no business, well, the big business, but not the small business. So what they're saying, look, we are tired of poor people. People who don't have, not on a job where they have retirement, because years ago right here in L.A., a friend and I was talking about that yesterday. We had Rockwell, we had GMHC, we had, what was this tire company? Goodyear. Yeah. Steel mills. We had companies that had good retirement plan, and these were people who had great jobs, good paying jobs, who had only finished high school, and they were able to retire with a good retirement. So now they're looking at people living longer. They're drawing their Social Security. So the government now is coming up with all type of schemes, and that's what it is, schemes and scams, okay, to try to make sure that they don't have to bear the burden of the yoke of the people who have been left to be, destitute in this country based on their own system that they have set up. That's cold, it's cold, it's cold, but that's what it is. They're saying, no, you're going to set up some retirement because you're not going to be getting AFDC, you're not going to be getting SSI, you're not going to be getting, look, we broke.
Absolutely.
We broke. We can't take care of you all. You're living longer. You're sicker. You're costing them more with Medicare, and Medicare benefits. Do you guys understand what's going on here?
Yeah. In other words, they're undoing what FDR did back almost 100 years ago, right? Instead of he shifted the burden from private to public, and now they're trying to shift it back. Since Reagan, they've been trying to shift the burden from public, which is the government, back to the private sector. So this is just a continuation of what started back in the 1980s. So now it's just for, instead of doing it on the business side, now they're trying to put it down to the individual again.
So,
Right.
Bridget, are they
Your
asking?
society's not set up, but your society's not set up for this.
It's not.
No.
It's a day late and a dollar short.
Yes.
They should have started this a long time ago when the
Yeah.
water was flowing. But you're gonna
Yeah.
wait till the most destitute times in history almost
Yeah.
for people in the United States, and you come up with all these mandates about what you must do, and are you trying to put people out of business? You know, I mean, we already don't have enough people working. So if you're going to force businesses to be closed, because that's what happened with a lot of people, even when they raised the employee salary, which was a must because people wasn't making enough money, but it forced some business to have to close. So then you had more people unemployed. So Bridget, tell me this: this is in effect, so you either have to pay for a retirement plan for your employees, or you direct them to one that they can be in. Is that the option?
Yes, that's the option. But the employee does have some onus of responsibility. They do have to either opt in or opt out. Once the employer has registered itself as a business and then registered the employees, then the employees have 30 days to either opt in or out.
Okay.
Now, if the employer doesn't do anything, then the employer stands to be fined up to $500 per employee.
Mm-hmm.
Who pays for this? Who pays for this retirement?
If it's an employer-sponsored plan, then of course the employer pays for it, but that's with the larger outfits. With the smaller companies, if the whole purpose of the government-sponsored plan is that the employer isn't paying. So it's really up to the income from the employee being directed to that plan.
Okay, so
the employee pays for it.
Okay, and if the employee opt out, then what repercussion fall on them for not having it?
They just don't have it. They just don't have it. But then they would have the ability to do just a personal Roth IRA, or like I said, an IUL.
Mm-hmm.
There are other options for them. It's just that they wouldn't have. They're not going to be forced into this plan unless they do nothing.
I think they're creating something that they're not going to be able to enforce or to be a watchdog over. What do you think, you guys?
I think this is just the first shoe. I think there's another shoe that's ready to drop after this. So they're setting you up so by a few years down the line, if you don't have it, then you can't qualify for certain things that the government benefits would give you, or greatly reduced. Okay, so now the government's not going to do nearly as much or carry nearly as the burden. So you had the opportunity to actually set up your own plan, your own retirement plan, blah, blah, blah. If you didn't do that, guess what? You're out of luck when it comes to them. Say, okay, well, this is all we can give you, and you didn't set up and manage your money well or your retirement well. So if you're going to be destitute, hey, we got a nice little corner with a box for you. So that's all we can do for you now.
And it's similar to the way that they did the health insurance.
Yes, yeah, very
they
similar.
began to force the health insurance.
Very similar.
Well, I guess they're trying to prepare you to let you know, look, you got Social Security money is running out.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so they're trying.
It is.
Right.
They're trying to tell you.
Are your retirement? I would say 90% of your retirement funds are underfunded, especially since the zero interest rates that have been going on for like 12, 13 years. So the retirement funds can't make any money, and so they're stressed. They're in trouble. And these are all the old folks. With new folks coming in, okay, you might not get anything. So, and they'll kind of let you know ahead of time that, okay, you better take this very seriously because, 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, there might not be anything for you. So you better do it now. They're not going out with the bullhorn, kind of scaring you. But the thing is, they're setting you. This is the right setting you up for that left hook. Okay, so you got to listen. This is what she's saying because this is the first shoe. This is the left shoe. The right shoe ain't dropped yet, in my opinion.
Wow.
And it's a domino effect because this is impacting small business. You have, of course, government, federal, state, other types of companies that you can work for, but now they're requiring so much in order to be employed. You need to have a doctorate degree in order to be employed. So, a lot of us don't have that. A lot of us are in older, so we're competing with a younger generation that do have degrees. But yeah, it's truly going to impact the small business.
Wow. Well, let me give the number out for those who are listening. I'd like to ask a question, make a comment. The number is 310-928-7733. That's 310-928-7733. You can email us here at innerlightradio@yahoo.com. That's INNER, innerlightradio@yahoo.com. You may want to call, ask questions, make a comment, and, let us know if you knew about this. I pride myself with being in the know. So this is actually some new knowledge for me. But I'm looking at the fact that I see clearly what the government is doing. They're trying to get the poor people off of their back. They're saying you're really going to have to fund your own retirement. We can't afford to have retirement funds for all of our citizens. That's really what they're saying. And Tim asked a question about, I think he got UBI, Universal Basic Income.
Okay, now that is a really different subject, and that's something that they're testing out. But that is basically that's if they have to do what I call a debt jubilee, and they can't support people. And and people, there's no banking infrastructure to actually support retirement plans and all the other kind of stuff. So UBI is like the default. In other words, it's enough to keep your people alive while they rejigger the whole financial system. But that's a different.
That's what he's talking about when he talks about UBI, Universal Basic Income.
It's an old idea, and I don't want to take up too much time with it. It's an old idea. It was actually something that was thought of in the 60s. And but the thing is that because of the debt that's floating around amongst the whole globe, right, at some point you're going to have a financial reset. But if you reset everything, all the debts get wiped out, including retirement plans and insurance plans. All this stuff has to be wiped out, right? How do you keep people alive long enough to actually reset this whole financial system, right? That's where universal basic income comes in, where you give everybody a set amount to keep people alive and keep your economies going, and then and while they rebuild the economic system. Okay, but that's a really complex topic. They've been talking about that in the World Economic Forum for about maybe 10, 12 years now. So if you want to
look like they're gonna have to do it, Keith. The way they're going with this money and all the debt that we're in.
It's way more serious than you think it is. You've got because you almost had a bank in Germany failed, right? One of the biggest banks in Europe called I think Deutsche Bank, right? Deutsche Bank has $49 trillion in derivatives that is holding, and that's just one bank. Okay, $49 trillion in one bank. We're not going to talk about what's in the United States. Okay, that's just one bank in Germany. Okay, which is the biggest bank in Europe. But that's just one bank. When you compare all the rest of the banks, what are they holding as far as debt is concerned? At some point, that debt has to be resolved, and that's where the UBI is going to come in, because you're going to have what a jubilee, a debt jubilee is, right?
Yeah, everything is wiped out and start all over.
And you have to do it all over the world all at one time. And how do you keep an economic system going to keep people alive, especially people that are retired? Okay, UBI, wow. Universal Basic Income, because everything will get wiped out. All your welfare, all that kind of stuff will get wiped out all at once. How do you keep people alive? And that's where the UBI comes in, and that's the idea that they have. But the thing is, they don't know how to pay for it yet. So it's an idea.
Yeah.
But they're saying the thing is that's an aside. Okay, that's
right. Bridget, let me ask you this. Let's do a recap because this is so new to so many people. So let's take a look at it again. You're saying that actually, let's deal with the small business 1 to 4, and that
Hmm.
one does not include yourself because a lot of people have corporations. I mean LLC, and they are really place
Members.
themselves, yeah, as an employee. So we're not talking about them. Uh,
Right.
so, so let's look at, we're saying that what the employer has to do, they have to register with whom again? Because I want people, we have listeners, I want, take it step by step.
They're going to register with Cal Savers. And let me get an email for you or a web address for you. But if you Google Cal Savers.
Cal Saver or Favor?
Cal Savers, CalSavers.
Okay.
So they're going to register as the employer with Cal Savers. And it just takes a couple of minutes. They'll need to provide their federal employee ID number or their tax identification number. And they should be given a Cal Savers access code. If they don't have one, they may need to go through the process to request one. So once they register as a business or a company, then they're going to begin to add their employees. So they'll be providing the employee information. Then that's going to link the employee to that business. So basically that part of it makes the employer compliant. The only thing they're doing is registering and then adding their employees. From that point, the employee has the option to either participate in the CalSaver plan, and it's just one investment plan that CalSavers offers. It's a mutual fund that is market driven. So they're just going to either participate in the plan or opt out. And if they opt out, then, I mean, it's really left up to them what they want to do in terms of their retirement.
So if they don't do anything, if nobody monitors them, there's nothing they can do. And what if they don't register? Now, you register as an employer. You put their name down. Do they notify the employee, or do you follow with the employee to say, did you follow through?
They deal with CalSavers independently.
Will CalSavers contact the employee?
Yes, they
Okay.
deal with, and so then the employee will opt in or opt out. If they don't do anything within their 30-day window, then they're going to be auto-enrolled.
Okay.
If they're auto-enrolled, who's paying for
it? When they're auto-enrolled, I want to say that it's going to be deducted.
Okay.
Oh, from their pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to have a revolution. I can see that right now. Shawana, are you ready for the revolution? Can you imagine somebody taking some more money out of somebody's payroll check who's not making enough right now?
Right.
Without warning? Some things just don't make sense that I see, that's taking place. Okay, but at least I want the people to understand, because I don't want anyone, and you say they can be fined. Let's look at that part. What about all these employers out here now, small business, who have no knowledge about this? How would they be identified to be fined? Probably through their 941 when they're reporting their payroll, payroll taxes and everything. That's how they're going to be identified, more than likely, right?
Absolutely. I'm sure that there's some type of agreement or arrangement with state or federal to forward information in terms of who's filing taxes and for whom they're filing taxes.
Yeah, they would know exactly how many employees they have. Big Brother's really watching, Keith?
Right.
Always, and they're not only watching, they're in your business. And some of this stuff's going to go on your taxes too. So you have to report this, just like you do health insurance.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to have to report that too.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know what? You know what, Britt? He might be right. Pretty soon that might come under, because when you do your taxes, you have to show proof that you have insurance,
Yep.
medical
Yes.
insurance.
Yes.
This will
Yeah.
probably be next.
Mm-hmm.
And they will probably issue some type of certificate of compliance, maybe on an annual basis. I really don't know. I'm just guessing. But if they're providing deadlines, they would deadlines, and then you're getting a compliance identifier. I'm pretty sure that they're going to generate some type of notice of compliance.
Wow. Ooh, this is really. And how long you say this has been a mandate? Because had you heard about it, Keith?
No, I haven't even heard about it, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Actually, this has been in place for 5 or more employees since 2019. It's just that the mandate just included 1 to 4. That was January 2023.
Okay, so they're drilling down further. So
yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is quite. Do you have any idea, Bridget, what those the charge, the cost involved with the retirement, or is it something that you choose your own retirement plan based on how much money you will need at retirement age? Do you know about that?
Now that I don't. I do know that I was looking for the fines for you, but like I said, I'm gonna send you some links, so that you have the information that I have.
Okay, and I'll send it to you guys, Keith.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be quite interesting as to how they're going to follow through. But I'm sure they'll tighten it up, just like they did with the medical insurance, Keith, as you mentioned. When you do your tax, you need to show that you have that. So I'm sure that's going to be the accountability piece as soon as they get through working that out. But it will be interesting to find out what the cost would be. But you're saying the participant money will be tied into mutual fund. Is that the safety thing for people? For their retirement?
I mean, as with any mutual fund, you just kind of ride the market. That's one of the drawbacks of the mutual fund. When the market goes down, you lose money.
Yeah.
But you asked me to bank my retirement on mutual fund. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah. Yeah, they're pushing it from public to private, so they're pushing all this stuff and getting it off their books. And
well, I mean, when you look at the big picture, Lacers, CalPERS, they're all market driven as well.
Okay, then this comes to another point. Then, like people like you who are in the insurance business and other folks, then it behooves a person to select their own retirement plan versus allowing someone to put you in a mutual fund where you can lose your money. You can lose your retirement, right?
Yeah, you can. But if you're not a certified financial planner or really understand the market, you could probably do more harm to yourself trying to do it yourself. Like I don't understand these different funds. So I would either hire someone or consult with someone to help me place my money more effectively, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's probably could be a booming business trying to try to do it as a group. The thing is, one good thing is that AI is probably going to take over a lot of this kind of stuff. So you probably won't need to find an individual per se. You probably just pay a subscription to an AI, and it will probably keep track of it and give you a person when necessary. So that's probably benefit. But yeah, I think they're going to push all this stuff to the individual, so it makes sense. So now
And that would be ideal. That would be ideal for AI because it could forecast like years.
Yeah. Or keep track of it for you and give you alerts when something needs to go on. So
right.
Yeah. So that's one way to look at it. That's probably one solution. The thing is that the with all these big retirement funds, the government has to backstop all that stuff, and they're probably tired of backstopping it. So they're trying to push it down to the individual so it comes off their books and off their budget, and that's been going on, like I said, since Reagan.
But it's kind of sad. You want to force people to have retirement, but yet they can end up with nothing.
They could end up with nothing. So basically, the government's tired of taking the risk. So,
okay, if they end up with nothing, what is the government going to do for them? So now I guess they'll give you a little money since you tried, right?
They give you the minimum that they can give you, and they'll cross that bridge when they come to it. Just like you see all the folks that can't live because of the rent's too high. At some point, they're going to say there's only so much we can do for you. So,
and then you see what happened with what was it, Enron?
Yeah, Enron. Oh, Enron. Yeah, but there's a bunch of different retirement funds that are actually really bankrupt, and the government's going to have to backstop. Have to back up and backstop all these people and all these funds, and so this is them looking forward. Okay, well, it's time to. That hasn't worked. It hasn't worked as well as we thought it would have. So we're going to actually force the individual to keep track of this. So basically, just like health insurance used to be general and more public. Okay, and they wanted to redo that, so now they're forcing you to take care of that instead of them worrying about it and putting them on their books. And this is a trend that I see. This is just a general trend, for everything pretty much, right? To force the individual to take more accountability for themselves and in the retirement, the health, and all this other kind of stuff instead of government actually coming into it. Yeah,
getting you off our road, right?
Getting you off to our books. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. That's what I see. So
what should we, Bridget? What should we be doing? It's not an alternative, but what should we be doing? In a way, I'm kind of happy that the issue came up about retirement, only because I guess if people are not forced to do it, they'd rather spend their money on weaves and eyelashes and tennis shoes and other stuff, drugs, whatever. They want to have fun. They want to do what they want to do. But in that last hour, they want the government or somebody else to be responsible for them living to get 80 and 90 years old and being and they're needing assistance longer.
Right. And that's why I mentioned what I did about the wealthy and being able to utilize insurance because that's an option. Again, what we've been told or taught is that you buy enough insurance to bury yourself or your loved one. Mm-hmm. But we haven't really truly been taught the meaning of insurance and the uses that are beneficial. The wealthy have been using insurance for eons. Mm-hmm. That's how they transfer wealth, and that's how they avoid taxes. You see what Trump did for 4 years, avoiding paying taxes. Mm-hmm. But college education, purchasing homes, they've been doing this through insurance. Mm-hmm. And just like you mentioned, buying, Air Jordans or getting your hair done or your nails done, if you took that same amount of money and put it into an insurance plan and just allowed that plan to grow and accumulate wealth, you can borrow from yourself. You can purchase homes. You can pay for your kids' education, and still have, depending on the type of plan or face value of a plan, and still be able to pass on wealth to your heirs, your loved ones. But that's how the white folks been doing it.
And you're right, Bridget, because they would have, when their kids got ready to go to college or to get married, they had money. They could either pay for their tuition or they started them off with the home. You're absolutely right. And our people have traditionally looked at insurance as a barrier, or to have a little bit left, but never enough to create wealth.
Right.
They never looked at it as a wealth building instrument. That's the sad thing. So I'm really glad that the conversation came up, even if the government had to. And Keith, I need you to look at the chat box, because something happened with my thing that I can't see it. Okay. That for us to really start thinking about retirement. And look, it's not, when we think of insurance, and by Bridget being in insurance, I know a lot of people don't understand insurance is not just for death benefits. Because you can have a type of insurance that if you had a $300,000 policy and you had cancer, any catastrophic disease, that you could use that money in your lifetime. It's like living and death. And what's left, it go on to your family. But if we're doing the right thing, we're teaching our family. I'm trying to have something leave you, but I'm going to teach you while I'm here to get your own stuff. That's the piece we're missing. That folks sitting around waiting on somebody to die to leave them something. But we got to be teaching them, get your own.
Financial discipline. That's really discipline,
And I mean, that's why it's called life insurance. It's not called death insurance. It's called life insurance. And I guarantee you, if we promoted or encouraged youth to purchase insurance policies, I guarantee you the police will stop killing black boys. Once these big corporations have to start paying on these policies, they'll stop killing them like they're killing them.
Oh, you have really raised something.
You're messing with the church money now, okay? All right.
So you talking about these big policies? You kill my son, and the wealth, the legacy that comes from that. At least I can buy his children a home versus having to take care of them.
In other words,
we talking up on something now.
What she's saying is that if you start putting policies on these kids, right, and they have to make these big payouts from the insurance companies. The insurance companies have to start, getting on the government and the officials. Hey, every time you pop one of these kids, it costs us $150,000. That's too much money. You're gonna have to kind of pull back on that. Okay, we're actually gonna go broke. You keep doing this. Yeah, what she's saying. That's exactly what she's saying.
We need to set up a foundation to make sure all these black kids are insured. If the people have to go in together and pay it, let's get an insurance on every black man, black boy in this country. Let's have a large fundraiser. Let's let one of these celebrities come out and do a big concert, and we're going to buy some insurance because they're young. And it's not going to cost as much. You absolutely raise the policy, because every time they are gunned down now, they got little kids that left on their parents or their grandparents to try to raise them and see them through college. So the money that they would have had for their own little retirement, they have to use that up now to take care of their kids and their You guys, y'all start mess up in here.
I told you. I told you. She got her hand in the offering plate. Okay, I'm telling you.
Oh my God, this is a good idea for every church. I'm gonna put this out. Every black church, you all take out insurance and make sure everybody, that's your mail in your church, have insurance. If you sold chicken dinners to build a sanctuary, sell some chicken dinners and get some insurance. That's one way we create some wealth around here. Girl, we done started something. I'm going to, you know me. Y'all know me.
Well, you're good for starting mess up in here, Dr. Rosie.
Oh my God, this is really something, because we need to start talking about retirement. And I'm saying that because you guys, in our community, our kids are struggling. Grandkids trying to make it. But we love our parents. So what do we do when they get older and don't have retirement in place? We have to take care of them.
Yeah, that's true. But I think the government,
they took care of us.
I think what it is people that are retired and beyond a certain age, okay, the government has to backstop them, because that's the promise they made back then. But going forward, I think that's what she's trying to say. Going forward, that those things may not be there for people. going forward. But the thing is, the government has just said, okay, these group of people, we have to actually invest and pay this stuff off because that's a contract we signed a long time ago. But going forward, guess what? You're not going to get it. So
Well,
I
that's
think
because
that's what it's trying to say.
there's so many small businesses now,
Yeah.
post pandemic,
And
that
growing.
are not contributing to the fund.
Yeah,
And
and
so,
growing.
yeah. And so as we're wrapping up these upcoming years, the money is being
Yeah.
depleted.
Yeah, let me ask you this, because they're pushing people toward what they call gig work, like sole proprietor gig work, the way they list it. Is this what people that they're actually aiming at? These kind of people to actually fund their own retirement?
I think a lot of them are, yeah, because like Uber and Lyft and Uber Eats and DoorDash and all these smaller companies, they don't pay benefits.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is geared towards them.
Okay.
And Bridget, Keith, also a lot of small businesses for years have not put into the system because things are so tough with them. Most times when they even file their taxes, quality of the kept, if they would pay everything that they're supposed to pay, they wouldn't be able to pay their rent or to live at all. So many people are underreporting. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Many small businesses, it has nothing to do with blackness or white, that has to do with small business. People are underreporting sometimes their income because they would have to pay so much for Social Security that they can't afford. If they just had to pay their taxes and not all this other stuff you're supposed to take out, it would be more money in the system. Because it's a lot. That Social Security part of your income can come to quite a bit. So they are going to be running out of money.
Yeah, if they haven't already.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I think people can look at insurance as a great alternative for building wealth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's important because I've been saying to people, Bridget, if your parents cannot afford, they have nothing to leave you, they've worked hard, they've done the best they can, and they want to, the children should get together and get a policy, and at least all of you would have something, 20,000 each or 50,000. There's nothing wrong. We got to find a way to pour into ourselves. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Your parents can't pay for $100,000 policy out of their pocket now, but 4 kids can go in and pay. It's just an investment. It really is like you say, I'm investing $50 a month on a policy for my mom. All of us going to go in together. What is $50 for you to invest that you can end up with $25,000? Because you're not going to have $25,000. If she died, if you died, you won't have it. She died, you won't have anything. So it's really, insurance is an investment. It can be used in the right way as an investment. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Now all the kids they just put $50 a month, but now Mama passed. All of you guys got $25,000.
Yeah.
She couldn't leave it to you because she's been taking care of your snotty nose all these years and your kids.
Yeah. Well, she becomes an investment. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got to have more conversation about the benefit of insurance.
Yeah.
And look at it like, Bridget, I like the way you put it. Other people took it as life insurance. We the one turned the thing into death. If you had left it up to us, we'd probably named it. Did you get your death insurance?
Right.
We got to have a new way of looking at this thing. We have to find a way to create wealth, find a way to have a financial legacy to leave. We really going to have to carve out a path for that because we can't go on like this, I'm telling you. Especially what it costs to bury somebody now. And a lot of people are against cremation. Well, somebody told me the Bible said you ain't supposed to cremate. I said, well, I didn't see that. I said, the Bible says a whole lot of things I don't see you doing. So get out of my face with that, okay? Keith, what's on the board?
Really, there's nothing for that. I was just passing a note to Dr. J about Blackstone. Um,
Okay. Okay.
but one thing he says, I don't think most of the citizens of this country are getting an honest assessment message from the POTUS about the reality of today's debt-ridden economy. Maybe folks will figure that out when we're really broke and when gas hits $10 per gallon. No one knows what to do next, which is true.
Wow.
It's from Facebook. Yeah.
Keith, do you think the mayor and other people in top positions are aware
Yes. Yeah.
of the houses? No, of all these houses that the banks have on their road.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
Because then why can't they go in and buy the damn house in and put people in if they are aware? Make them sell it at below market value. Sell it for what's on their book. Sell it for what they took it back from the people who owe. These crooks get so much money because they foreclose on your house. The money difference between what they could sell it for and what you owe is supposed to go back to the homeowner, and nobody's talking about that.
It puts pressure on people to actually work harder and earn more and put more into housing, which helps out the banks. Okay, somebody recently sent me a video about China putting up 30,000 homes in a week in South Africa. Okay, you could do this. The thing is, why don't you? You have more than enough money, more than enough materials to house everybody if necessary. How come you don't? There's a reason for that. It's because it's a capitalist country that puts pressure on people to work harder and put more money into certain things, certain assets. And the banks make money off of that. All those homes and all those mortgages and all those buildings sit on the bank's books, and they have to maintain a certain amount of equity.
Before they declare themselves bankrupt, right?
That's what happens to SVB, right? Silicon Valley Bank, okay? When they go below a certain amount of equity and the ratios don't mix, then they'll get liquidated. That's what happens. And there's so many banks that are on the verge of that if they do this, okay, then you have to rejigger your banking system. So you have to decide which one do you want to deal with. Do you want to house everybody? In a rich country like this, you should. And what it's going to do is supply and demand. It's going to bring down the price of housing dramatically. Nobody's going to, if you can buy a house or get a house for $30,000, $40,000, you're not going to pay $500,000 or $1 million for a house. You're not. Okay.
Absolutely.
If you can get it, it might not be a big fancy, house, but the thing is, if you can get a basic house that's like 800 square feet or even 1,000 square feet for $40,000, $50,000, total, you're not going to pay 10 times or 20 times that amount for living space.
And folks realize now
they know that
they don't need all that space.
They know that. Yeah.
Bridget, go ahead. I'm sorry, Keith. Now,
no, go ahead.
Oh, this show is going to re-air tonight for those who didn't get a chance to listen at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. They can go to innerlightradio.com and listen to the show. I'm going to make one comment, and I'm going to come back and ask you, what is it that we need to be doing now when we think about retirement? If nobody offers us anything, if nobody did anything for us, what should we be doing for ourselves and for our family? But what I wanted to mention to you, Keith, I was riding Sunday between El Segundo, I believe, and one of the other major streets. And I saw all of these, these homes that's on the side of the street, mobile homes.
Mobile homes, yeah.
Yeah, and I was asking the person I was with, I said, look at all these homes. I said, I wonder, do the mayor know about these? He said, they're not included in what we're talking about. And I said, what do you mean? He said, they're not in the city. You're in the county. Whoa. Keith, do you realize that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That there's a spot in L.A. that's considered the county that has nothing to do with the homeless population that we're talking about in the city of L.A.
They're unincorporated. So
my God.
It's a dead zone. They know.
Oh, my God. You should see the homes. But anyway, Bridget, I'm so happy that you're with us today. And with your real estate. You in two areas that can help people to move to leaving generational wealth. That's what real estate, and hopefully every person that you sell a house to, you remind them the importance of having a living trust. See, we all have a responsibility.
Yes.
And I hope you remind them that you need some insurance and you need life insurance, you know.
Yes.
So you're in two good positions to really do good in our community with helping people to sustain wealth and to pass wealth down. But what are some of the basic things that Tim just passed me note. He said there are a number of unincorporated areas in LA.
Yeah.
So Tim, I want you to tell me where they all are, and I want to ride around and see what they look like. So since you brought that up, Tim, give me all the areas that's unincorporated, and let's see what's happening with the homeless there. And nobody represented them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. What can we do? And you all can make sure you go to my YouTube. That's youtube.com/Rosie Milligan, because all our shows are placed on YouTube. That means the critical ones, like this one, will be on YouTube, that you can go anytime and look at it and send your friends there to listen to this show. Make sure you go to my YouTube. The one we did on AI is up there, and it just goes in Proposition 18 appeal. You guys need to be sending folks there when they say, well, I don't know what Prop 19 and, is all about. Send them to my Facebook page, because if we don't contact our representative and make this happen, you haven't seen Lose Home yet, okay? So, Bridget, what can we be doing right now? Forget about what the government going to do. Forget about all of this. Okay.
Educate yourself.
Go ahead.
Educate yourself. Educate yourself, because you can't wait for them to give you the information that's going to help you. You have to seek it out yourself. Look at insurance as an option. I'm not saying that every person needs $1 million policy, but at least get something. The same thing with the housing. A lot of people think that when they purchase a home, it has to be their forever home. When I purchased my first home, I qualified for $199,000. Where would I be able to get a place in Los Angeles for $199,000? That's why I ended in Ontario. But after less than 2 years, my equity grew to more than $100,000. So I was able to sell that first place and purchase a place where I could include my mom. In a much better area. I live in an area that people want to live in. And so sometimes let's bring our hopes and expectations down a little bit to at least get our foot in the game.
Wow, that's good advice. That's really good advice. Don't try to buy the house like what your mama have. Your mama did a whole lot of stuff, and this is maybe her second and third house. These kids don't want to move out because they can't get in a 3-bedroom and the house look like mama's house. Mama wasn't always in that kind of house, so you gave some very good information. We got to start educating and talking to everybody, talking to our kids about insurance, talking to them about wealth building. We're really not talking, Bridget. We just going about doing stuff. And I love the fact that how you look out for your mom, because your mom is a good woman, and she's been good not only to her children, but to other people that she reached outside and helped. And what a blessing to be able to say, I'm comfortable now, and I'm not inconveniencing my daughter because she's okay. Now that's a whole different story. When a person is being inconvenient, you're struggling trying to do that. So I applaud you for that. And so you're going to always be blessed. That's why you're doing well. And I appreciate you coming on our show and giving us this information. And we got to do better. We need to get our insurance. Bridget, we need to know how to get in touch with you. We don't want you to give us all this information. If a person want to buy a house, they need insurance, we want them to reach out to you. So give your number, repeat it at least 3 times for me.
My contact number is 424-888-4600. 9152. Again, that's Bridget Harvey, HARV as in Victor, EY, 424-888-9152.
Wow.
And it's like a bridge over water with two T's on the end.
Okay, great. And I just thank you so much for sharing this information. We definitely will have you back again to talk about this. And all of this ties in, Keith, really, with Prop 19, with the bill that we're trying to support. It all ties in to let us hold on to something. And when you sum it up, that's what we really said today. Get something and let's hold on to it, and let's teach your children to get something. Because I'm so sick of these kids fighting over what their parents leave and what she left him more. They didn't have to leave you a darn thing. Whatever she or he left, you're staring a gift in the mouth. Go somewhere and sit your broke butt down and go get something of your own. Nobody owe you anything. So come on. I mean, I see people going to court on a trust. No, they ain't gonna win. Yeah, because I think Mama had dementia when she left Sally this. Negroes, y'all better act like you got some sense and go get your own. Like Mama got hers. She got it in harder time than what you're coming up, but she made a sacrifice to have something. So go somewhere and sit down. You guys get some insurance. I'm tired of your mamas having to bury you. Yeah. I know you're going to be sending me hate mail. You see, you always putting us down. No, I'm not. I'm trying to pull you up. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm trying to pull you up. Get yourself and get you some insurance. Now, if you can get a weave every 3 weeks, if you got them bat eyelash on, that costs money. If you wear red bottom shoes, no, I'm mad now because I'm tired of seeing parents take that little money to bury these snotty-nosed kids. That's what I said. Get mad if you want to get mad and do something about it. Folks, we got to make a change. Bridget, I thank you so much. We're going to do better. I see it. I feel it. You're welcome. I feel, Keith, if we put this information out, our people would do better. They're not getting the information they need. So it's our job. We're trying to do it. So right here at Express Yourself Hour, we're not talking about mess. We talk about the real issues of life. So I suggest that you tell your friend every Tuesday from 10 to 11, you need to tune in to Express Yourself Hour. Ooh, I've been fussing today, huh?
You gotta warn them because they'll sleep on it, and then then they'll be calling you like a couple of years later, Dr. Rosie, what we gonna do?
So you go do what I told you to do 10 years ago. Ain't nothing changed. Just do what you've been told to do. So you guys, the clock on the wall said that's all. Bridget, I want to thank you much. I want to thank my co-host. It's been fun. It's been informative, and I have learned. So thank you again. Give that number out one more time, Bridget.
Sure, 424-888-9152.
Okay. Bridget, make sure your mom get to listen to this show if you have to play it back to her tonight so she can be so proud of her baby girl.
I will. Thank you.
Okay, you guys have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
See you, Keith.
All right, bye-bye.